Hello, and welcome to Nikki's Scrapbooking Adventures. Today I'm going to go over one of the layouts that I had made with the Felicity Jane kit prior to making my Counterfeit Kit. I am considering this one of the layouts that I made using that bigger kit because it used the Felicity Jane pattern paper. And that was the majority of my kit besides the Pink Fresh Studio kit. So this page is actually a remake of a page that I had made using these exact pictures and this letter from my grandma. Now I do have some sections covered up because of privacy reasons. She has passed in 2003. However, I don't know what her data could be used for. So I have covered up her last name, her birthday, and the information that would be relevant in her driver's license. I personally love keeping driver's license because you get to see their birthday, their height, their eye color, the address, and their signature. You wouldn't normally see any of that information. So I think it's really special when you have a driver's license because in this little card you have all of that information. So I was given this driver's license when I was little, which I think is cute. I will pop up the old layout here on the screen so you can see the difference. When I'm looking at that old layout, it was very dark. I had tried to make an album with all family related items with a single paper pack. My goal in using a single paper pack was to have an album that was cohesive. So this was the paper pack that I had chosen, and at the time it was the only one that was available that had enough paper in it. So this is from Colorbok, and it has black backgrounds that look like chalk images. I picked this because it had a variety of papers in it that could fit a variety of pages and themes. However, looking back now, I wish I hadn't made that decision because now I'm having to go back and redo some of the pictures. So I redid this one. It did take me a while to figure out how I was going to redo this layout because you can see each picture, an image that I would be using, is a different size. And when you do those kinds of things, it's hard to place them. I was thinking about putting this at an angle, tucking in some of these photos. It really took me a long time to figure out the layout until I remembered what Janet from RTS Scrapbooking had said. She always tells us that if you have photos of different sizes, then make a grid. Really trying hard not to make the grid. Really trying hard not to make the grid. I ended up making a grid, and that's okay. You know, I think this represents my grandma better than the black and white layout did. What's funny is I tore off all of the pictures on the old layout. I tore off the red backing, everything like that. I just threw it away. It wasn't worth keeping. When I had adhered everything down, I had only put one piece of tape behind the photos, and so it was really easy to take off, which is actually kind of nice. I had chosen the red on purpose because I remember my grandma always wearing a red sweater. But when I saw this Felicity Jane paper, this paper specifically and this one here, this green one, reminded me of a dress that she used to wear when I was little. I'll always remember that this looks like what one of my grandma's dresses that she used to wear while we were boating. This is also a lot brighter of a page. That black really made it kind of look dreary. Now, black doesn't always do that. However, because that original page was kind of the introduction, life and death page, it really made it look sad. So this journaling card here is from the Felicity Jane pack, and it just lists things I want to remember about my grandma. This is a stamp from one of my stamp kits that I used. I tried to pick a color that was close to this dark pink. I also used, my clusters were from punches, so I made all of these hearts, and I just used paper that was in my kit that I had pulled. And I used the bows as well. I really like the end result of this layout. I tried to bring the yellow in and the pink and everything. I've got a couple visual triangles, this one, and this one. These are actually white foam stickers, and I used some pigment ink on these foam stickers. Downside is that it still hasn't dried and it's been months. I think if in the future I would do is alcohol inks. I currently don't have any alcohol inks. I think that would probably stay better on foam. But this is going into a page protector, so I'm really not that worried about it. But yeah, this is my redo page. I picked thickers that matched my theme and colors. I altered my thickers to make them match. I really wanted to make sure that my journaling represented what I wanted to remember about my grandma. And I wanted to make sure that I had this letter on here. I think it's super cute. It shows my grandma's handwriting, which is very special. I remember this costume from when I was little was one of my favorites. I made sure to put the dates on each of these photos from when I was little. My grandma did pass away in 2003 when I was 12, so I don't have very many pictures of me with her, except for when I was very little. Because as you get older, you don't take, at least my family didn't take pictures really from like the age 10 to high school. That's just not something that we did very often unless it was like a school event or something like that. So I do end up having all of my pictures from school. What's funny is that I actually, if you look back at that black layout, my photos are in the same orientation. But this provides a better mood and feel than that other black layout did. So, looking at the journaling, comparing it from this current layout to what I used before, my other layout tried to pull in facts about my grandma that I didn't actually know. So instead of doing that this time, I focused on what I wanted to remember. So, for example, my grandma insisted my name be Nicole Hope instead of Angelica Nicole. That is a fact about both my grandma and me. So I changed that up. So it's not something that I have to go fact check. These were things that I know that are truths about my grandma. And I think that's how you can do some of these heritage pages. Instead of trying to pull in facts that you have to fact check with your family, I mean, those are good conversation starters, but this way your kids or whoever looks at this page learns little tidbits about you and that person's relationship instead of trying to figure out, okay, this lady worked as a middle school teacher during the years of blah, 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 blah. Well, that's hard to find out. So this is how I chose to approach that journaling. I gave up on that fact-checking portion of it. So, yeah, I thought I would share this layout. I do consider it part of my kit that I used. That's an example of how you can redo a layout. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. I will have more layout shares coming up for my counterfeit kit. I will do one major layout share at the end of October so you can see how many kits or how many pages I made with my counterfeit kit for October 2021. Thanks, guys.